Hello and welcome to Across Africa. I'm Clarisse Fortuné, and these are the stories we want to tell. Many African countries are familiar with long power cuts, and neighboring countries, Zimbabwe and Zambia, can suffer blackouts of up to 17 hours a day as a result of low water levels at Kariba Dam. Meanwhile, in Sierra Leone, thousands of acres of mangroves have been destroyed, but a new project is bringing hope to the millions living in the coastal communities. The rumble in a jungle, the face-off that made history. 50 years ago, Muhammad Ali was fighting George Foreman in a heavyweight boxing match in Kinshasa, the greatest sporting event of the 20th century. Neighbors Zimbabwe and Zambia are facing power cuts of up to 17 hours a day as drought dries up the Kariba Dam. It's at the world's largest man-made lake, but the countries that rely on hydroelectric power are now left in the dark. Nyasha Shingono reports.
I'm in the sweltering heat of Kariba, that is to the north of Zimbabwe. Zambia just across the border, and this is where the largest inland dam is situated. It has been facing headwinds this year due to the El Nino-induced drought. And where I'm standing, normally when the lake is full, this place will be full of water, but it has been dry and it has been sore for many, many months. The ramifications of this dry spell is that both countries, that is Zambia and Zimbabwe, will not be able to get enough power. Both countries so depend on hydro energy for its domestic and industrial energy needs. I spoke to several business owners in Harare who have been saying that they have been forced to use generators or even to work at night due to power challenges that have been going on for about 17 hours a day.
We want electricity, but we don't have power all the time. We end up not being able to work, or sometimes we're forced to work at night. During the afternoon, we buy diesel and use generators.
Energy experts also say that Zimbabwe will need to invest heavily in solar energy because it has abundant sun all right through the year, but it has not been able to get off-takers because of lack of investment.
Over the past few decades in Sierra Leone, thousands of acres of mangroves have been destroyed by erosion, construction, and other man-made threats. The forests are critical defenses against flooding, and their disappearance has left coastal communities struggling to maintain their ways of life. But a new push is planting hope in the heart of millions. Kathleen Kelly has more.
It's been a hopeful week in Sierra Leone as Freetown City Council started their large-scale mangrove restoration project. The project hopes to plant 250,000 seedlings in about 3 coastal communities that will be affected by coastal erosion and rising sea levels. Locals I spoke to said that they welcome this development, emphasising that flooding is the biggest climate risk in Sierra Leone. The project hopes to create about 1,750 jobs, and there are already volunteers wading through the muddy swamps, planting the seedlings.
In our community, whenever we are in the raining season, due to the lack of mangroves, the sea will raise to a high level, the rain will be coming heavily, and it will make the flooding to occur. In our compound, in our rooms where we sleep, we know by planting these mangroves, it will serve as a protection for us.
Every tree is tracked. There are people here who are trackers. There are people here, growers, monitors, daily workers. So there are different elements in the Freetown to Treetown infrastructure to ensure that the trees are planted, the information is uploaded onto a database, they are tracked, and that information is again continuously uploaded.
Over the past 30 years, Sierra Leone has lost about 1/4 of its mangrove population due to human activities and subsequent coastal erosion. Given there are about 2 million people living in coastal communities that will be affected by predicted rising sea levels, these coastal shrubs are a welcomed flood defence.
Now, if you're a fan of the Halloween season, you might have enjoyed the thrills of parties or of scary movies, especially the ones with zombies. The notion of dead corpses reanimated by shamans and voodoo priests have long been a part of Haiti's culture, but it all really originated from Africa. And today, fascination with the undead is at the heart of a new exhibition here in Paris. Aurélie Coumont went to unearth the story.
This is my favorite place of this exhibition. There's no sound, it's a little bit dramatic, it's mesmerizing. And this is just one out of the many works of a vast collection here at the Musée du Quai Branly in Paris called Zombies, Death is Not the End. Visitors are encouraged to consider a fresh take on their presumptions about the undead, a reliable staple for when pop culture needs to deliver some fantastical thrills. But this exhibition explores the links between heritage, identity, and culture.
Africa is very present in this exhibition. For instance, look at these costumes. We call them devotional costumes. It's really a representation of Africa with its spirits. Each garment represents a loas, which represents a spirit. And each spirit comes from Africa. Costumes for the lightning gods, for the Congo Queen. This costume, for example, symbolizes the Congo Queen. Africa is represented in Haitian voodoo.
Several guided tours, shows are organized around this exhibition, open to visitors until February 16th.
Have you heard of the Kenya Ice Alliance? They are Kenya's ice hockey team. Aside from South Africa, Kenya is the only sub-Saharan African country with an ice rink. Recently, the team achieved a significant milestone. They are now members of the International Ice Hockey Federation, and they're dreaming of competing on the international stage. Bastien Renouille joined them at one of their practice sessions.
East Africa on ice. Every week, these players suit up for practice at Kenya's only ice hockey rink. They recently played in their first tournament in South Africa.
The thing I love about the game and how we are progressing is we get better as the time goes by. So some people, online people say, Kenyans can't play properly, this is not a sport for us, maybe athletics, but when you look at the game we played in South Africa, we managed to win a trophy.
In September, the International Ice Hockey Federation voted to accept Kenya as a member. This opens up new opportunities for the team, like the creation of a local league and participation in official international competitions.
Later this month, we're going to take part in a meeting with IIHF and look at what kind of development opportunities there are. Training for coaches, very important in Kenya. Training of players, and just how to run a league and a team. It's all new to us in Kenya, so we need that kind of support. It really means a lot to join the IIHF for the Ice Lions.
Though they're just a small group of players, their passion has already taken them far.
Getting photos.
They even made it to Canada, where they were invited to play alongside the National Hockey League.
Hey guys. Getting goosebumps again.
Robert shares his love for hockey with his family. As president of the Ice Lions, he aims to grow the sport in Kenya.
Some of the dreams and hopes that I do have for the future is for my daughter, should she decide that she wants to get into hockey, she has a smooth and an easier experience.
The Ice Lions are confident that the outlook is warming up for their sport. They're keen to get more funding to ramp up development and eventually compete in more international championships.
Cute. From hockey to boxing. October 30th, 1974 is a legendary date in Congolese history. On that day, Muhammad Ali faced off against George Foreman in a World Heavyweight Championship boxing match in Kinshasa. Billed as the Rumble in a Jungle, it was the first fight of such global scale hosted on the African continent. 50 years on, young boxers continue to draw inspiration from the event. Look this report, Emmett Livingstone, Aurélie Bazara, Kibongula.
For Pierre-Célestin Kabbalah, this cardboard box is precious.
This is all the personal archive I've been able to keep.
Inside are archives from the fight of the century. 50 years ago, Muhammad Ali fought George Foreman in Kinshasa's Tata Raphael Stadium. The sports journalist was 27 years old at the time.
Here I am, just outside the ring.
As a member of the organizing committee, Pierre Celestin Kabala remembers the last round of the fight down to the last detail.
In that round, Ali multiplied his jabs and hooks and knocked him down. The whole stadium was chanting, Ali Boumaye.
That chant, which means Ali, kill him, has become legendary and is still heard in Kinshasa. At the entrance to the stadium where the fight took place, there's a boxing club called the Head High, which has around 100 members. Its founder says that it was Ali's victory that made boxing a popular sport in DR Congo.
Before the fight, there were just 3 clubs. But after that, many more were born. And now there are more than 300 clubs in Kinshasa. It's always the inspiration of Muhammad Ali.
Young people come here to train every day from 6 o'clock in the morning. Even if they weren't born in 1974, they've all seen the fight and been inspired by it.
I like Muhammad Ali. I like his style of fighting when it's slow. I really like when he boxes, when he parries. I really like when he moves. I like his style.
Here in front of the stadium, everyone is training in the hopes of becoming the next Muhammad Ali of DR Congo.
And this concludes our edition of Across Africa. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more news on France 24.